Welcome to this Wait to Fire YouTube video, and today it's me, Andy, and I'm just going to be showing you the new 5 Parsecs from Home 3rd edition book. Yes, it's finally arrived. I've been playing with the PDF for some time. You'll see some videos from myself and some of the other Wait to Fire members. But actually the hardback book has just arrived. So this is a solo science fiction wargaming stroke role-playing game by Nordic Weasel Games, and it's had a couple of editions that have been sort of self-published on Wargames Vaults and stuff like that, and this version has been picked up by Modiphius and is available for £25, or you can buy the PDF as well. And the book actually comes with the PDF, to be honest, and it's just arrived and I'm very excited to have a little look through. So here it is. It's a bit smaller than I was expecting actually. It's a A5 size rather than the larger format A4. Nice hardbound book, great colour art for it. You would expect this if you've seen any other Modiphius products. You know, they are famous for having high quality role-playing game content. And so you can see, really nice, really hard, really good book. So let's have a look inside. So it's really nicely laid out. I am really impressed by this layout. It's really easy to find stuff. The core rules really are only a few pages. You know, the main rules here, it says 36 to 63, but actually it's less than that because starships you don't really need. So it's only really about 15 pages, to be honest, max. And then the rest of it is all about your character generation, playing on different worlds, because this is a role-playing game. It's to basically play a series of linked games and your characters and crew evolve during the course of that. So let's have a little nose through. Again, like I said, high quality art. There is a backstory here. It's not quite as open world. Well, that's not true. It is really open world, but unlike something like Stargrave, where there's no real fixed setting, there is actually a universe here to set things in, but you can obviously play wherever you want. The art is great throughout. It's a variety of different styles, this sort of slightly more Tatooine style, and then there's sort of more Blade Runner style art in here. It's really, really good. So this is just sort of a basic overview, telling you what dice you need. So you need D6s and D10s, because you're going to be rolling D100 on charts quite often. A few other basic sort of things. And here's the key bit about starting off, character creation. So each crew that you have will be based around a captain and 5 other crew members, so 6 people in total. I say people because it won't necessarily be people. So 3 are always human and 2 can be human or primary aliens, and 1 may be a human or a bot if you do the standard method, that's a quick method, or you can do a random method, or you can just pick. So it gives you lots of different options for what to do. So if you do a random method, there's a chart. This is the first of many, 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 many charts in this game. And let's have a little look here. So your baseline, 1 to 60 will be a human, 60 to 80, 61 to 80 will be a primary alien. Primary alien is just a category of aliens. 81 to 90 a bot, which is a robot, and 91 to 100 a strange character. And then if you had a primary alien, there are different ones here, so different rather generic terms: engineer, Karen, soulless, precursor, feral, swift. They're explained a little bit later on. And then strange character, some sort of weird sort of extra step. I've never had one of those. And then you've got the basic stats of the 2 types of, sorry, the 2 main types here, humans and bots. They're fairly basic. So reactions is how quickly you react to things in the game. So reactions are, if you get past your reaction roll under your reaction, or equal to or under your reaction, then you get to go before the enemy. So obviously humans are only getting on a 1. Speed is how far you move, of course. Combat skill is used for combat in melee and shooting, so it's the same. And it's a modifier to your dice roll to hit. Toughness is the dice roll that someone who hits you has to then get more than to wound you. So a toughness of 3 for a human is actually not very good. Savvy is your ability, sort of like tech savvy really, or chatting to people and stuff. So it's quite a smart way of sort of influencing people. Then we've got some of the different aliens. So we've got, now it's not quite sure which one's which. I think this is an engineer and I think this is a carer. And it's not quite clear which one relates to which in some of these. But it doesn't really matter actually, because there's not a huge amount of depth to it. There's some ancient races like these Kerin, and then there are other sort of, yeah, here we go. So here's sort of, these are humans that have been converted in different ways, and even the ferals are humans that have been sort of animal hybridization has happened at some point in the preceding millennia or something like that. So there's lots of different sort of cool bits. You can see they have different stat lines, all of these. Loads of different stuff here, and that's just to make your team. But then you have to actually then make the background for them. So there's 3 different tables: background, motivation, and class. So again, another D100, and you can see that it affects either you pick up money, you pick up a patron, which are important for helping getting new missions. It changes your stats, maybe you get some new equipment. Motivation, similar. Political, adventurer, and then your class, so your troubleshooter, bounty hunter, punk, all that sort of stuff. And then a lot of those ones you'll see will say, so one low-tech weapon, for instance, here. But what does a low-tech weapon mean? Well, of course, you need a table, don't you? You need a table for a low-tech weapon. So here's a low-tech weapon table. And on that low-tech weapon table, you roll again and find out what you've got. There are other ones, gadget tables, and so on and so forth. And then you have to roll for your ship. So it's not just your crew, you actually have to roll for your ship as well. So you can get different types of ship. They're all a bit beaten up, you know, you're not rich. So, you know, old mining ships, former diplomatic vessels, so on and so forth. They tell you how much you have to pay them off, how much damage they can take, and if they've got anything cool about them. Now ships, you may never need to use your ship, because for travelling between worlds, you could play your campaign entirely on the same one world. That would be absolutely fine. There's no problem in that. But travelling between worlds does allow you to change up the story if you want. And there's an example as to how to actually make a character. An example chart. To be honest, you can just make this on an Excel doc just as easy, which is what I did. And here we are, right, finally we're on to the rules. So you've got your crew now, and then tells you how to sort of set up different things. Tells you about cover, line of sight, actions, which are movement or doing an actual action, so that might be to attack people, wasn't it? Tells you how to use the AI, so the artificial intelligence, so different types of creature will be given a class, so tactical, beasts, aggressive, and then they will work in a battle in that particular way. Coming on to combat, it's a very simple system. Combat, you roll a d6. This is for shooting. If you can see people within 6 inches and they're in the open, it's a 3 to hit. That would be modified by your combat skill. So that human had a combat skill of 0, but that bot had a combat skill of 1. That would actually become a 2+. So very easy if you're completely open. But within weapon range and in the open, or within 6 inches and in cover, okay, so more than 6 inches away, 5 to hit. And in weapon range and in cover, 6s. Okay, so actually most of the time you're shooting, you're probably actually hitting on 5s or 6s, but obviously if you get up close and personal and then in the open, you can make a lot of damage happen quickly. And it's similar for brawling, so brawling is the hand-to-hand, very similar. The only difference on the brawling is that you get a natural 6, you automatically do a hit, and obviously you're comparing against your opponent because they fight back. The damage you do, you might get a saving throw for some things, so some equipment and some bots will get a saving throw, but you might have like a special safety vest or something like that, which will give you a saving throw. And then there are other things like luck. Luck is something that you can use to modify dice rolls, costs you a point of luck. It stops you being removed as a casualty because there are no wounds here. Once you take a hit, that's it, boom, failure saving throw if you've got one, failure toughness roll, boom, you're out. And if that's your leader, that could be a really important thing. So luck's really helpful, and it does reboot at the end of each game, so don't be afraid of using it, basically. And here we go, here are the weapons themselves. We've got a whole chart of weapons, plenty of different types of weapons, the amount of shots they do, the range, the damage they do, and then any special rules which are on this page here. So I really like the fact that the colours are, you know, the art is great, as I said, you know, these little cutout arts, and then the colours are similar. So this whole section on weapons and gear is in blue, and the rules, these are all just more gear things. starships, so how you can upgrade your starship. So yeah, so we can, what can we add? We can add a medical bay, a cargo hold, all sorts of cool stuff. How to replace your ship if you lose it. Campaign, so this is coloured now in yellow. So campaigns, this is what we're mostly going to be playing. So it tells you how, talks you through what to do with each one. Depending on how big your crew is, depends on how much you have to spend in upkeep. And then you, let's get to the actual point. So story points, yeah, they're a way of changing. Here we are, the campaign turn. So what you have to do is upkeep your crew. You then need to, if you are travelling, you do this. If you're not travelling, you just arrive here. So here we go. Check for rivals, dismiss patrons. So this is again, oh, these are all New World things. Sorry, I'm just skipping ahead of that. Here we go, right, here we go. This is what you would do in a normal thing. So upkeep the crew. So depending on how many crew you've got to feed them. Pay off any ship debt, repair anything on your ship. Okay, then you can find a patron, or so you can allocate tasks to your crew. Go find a patron, train, gain some more experience, trade, try and get some new gear, recruit, pick up more people, either if you want to expand your crew because they can die very easily, or replace people already lost. Explore, have a look around town. Track, look for a rival for a showdown because that can eliminate them. Rivals can stick around, and if you've got too many of them, it can make your life really difficult because they don't let you get on with other stuff. Repair any kit that's got broken, decoy, stop your rivals finding you. And you can allocate a different crew member to each of these things, and you can put up to 2 characters on the same task normally. So let's have a little look at this one, this trade roll. So you are D100 again. What do you find? Well, it could be something really good, luxury trinket. Or it could be a bunch of junk, so basic supplies, skip the upkeep cost of 1 campaign turn, so only going to save you about 1 credit there, so a bit disappointed if you got that one. And then some of these have things that lean over, so these story points. Story points, I sort of skipped over them before, but story points are really cool things because you can use them to modify dice rolls in the game, and you do that in a way that you sort of, the idea is to have a narrative element to it. So why did that shot miss me? Oh, because a little gust of wind just blew it aside. We've got some more tables, of course, because this is your exploration now. So what do you go and find? Get a few drinks, no effect, had a nice time. Pick a fight, get to fight somebody. Arms dealer, find some weapons and then buy them if you want. Loads of cool stuff. Then of course you can, if you've got a patron or you found a new patron, you can work out what they've got, and there's different ways of changing up how difficult the mission will be. They are harder patron missions, but they are more lucrative generally. And then you can also, if you can't get a patron mission and you haven't been tracked down by a rival, because they have a chance of tracking you down and messing up your day and making you fight them rather than what you wanted to do, you can actually just do an opportunity mission. And then we go on to the battles here. So, patron, rival, quest, opportunity, and invasion. Invasion I won't really cover much. There is a narrative of aliens invading the planets. And here are the different types. Again, more tables to roll on. Lots of tables. It seems really crazy, but it's a small book. You just keep it, beside you, and you can roll these all up when you're not there. So you can actually do a lot of this upkeep before getting any miniatures out. You just do it, and on the phone or on PDF. You can just do it sitting in the car or something like that. Or travelling, which is quite nice. Actually, that it's quite a small size. It's really good for that point of view. So yeah, so this is just tells you the different types of mission that you can do. Again, talking about the AI, so different classes. But who are you going to fight? So we need to know who you're going to fight. So of course, there's more tables here. Depending on the type of encounter you're facing, will depend on you roll a D100 and there'll be different tables. So there's another one, hired muscle here. These are criminal elements. So depending on who you're going to fight. And they have a stat line the same as you do, and it also tells you about the AI and the sort of weaponry that they'll have here. There's a table for that. So there's a huge amount of variation, and there's not huge descriptions of what things are. So Black Dragon Mercs, extremely professional. The Black Dragons have carefully cultivated a reputation for clean operations and high standards, but they can be whatever you want. Whatever miniatures you've got in your collection, they'll suit. So it's really great from that point of view. Right, and then readying for battle. Again, this is the equipment that they might have based on what we had before. You can also have specialists with extra cool equipment, usually more dangerous equipment. You can have lieutenants and unique individuals and stuff like that. So even harder people to have to fight. Determine a battle. It's quite vague actually about determining a battle, but that's fine because it allows you a lot of freedom. But generally it suggests you play on a 2x2 or maybe up to a 3x3 mat, no bigger than that. And it's just an example of how to go through it and how to fight the battle. Now you don't have to fight till everyone's dead. You either complete your mission or you can choose to run away, and also the enemy may run away as well. They may do what's called a bail check. You can, I do this, you can a couple of times during the game, in round 2 and round 4, you can roll random events, and if you watch one of my bat reps, that absolutely changed up the game massively. They're quite fun. You can either be some more money, it could be some more sort of independent aliens that appear or creatures that appear. It can affect how your characters are playing, models are playing. And then at the end of the game, of course, there are more tables. So we do the post-battle sequence here, where you check what you found on the battlefield. So you can always pick some stuff up, check for these things like evasion, get paid, of course. Determine any injuries and recovery from your characters. Anyone taken off the table isn't necessarily dead. Do the experience. The amount of experience you gain, it's not massive. So survived and won, you gain 3. Okay, so most you're likely to get is 3, possibly 4 from a game. And you can see that the XP cost to advance is sort of 7s and 5s and stuff like that. So you're not going to level up every single game, basically. Advanced training, I've not done this yet, but this is, costs a lot of experience to get these sort of extra super hard guys, so I think it's a more advanced thing. You can buy more kit, and you can roll for both a campaign event and a character event. One character can have a random event happen. And these are quite, again, nice fluffy things to do. You sell off some of your cargo, gain 1d6 credits. You've earned a bad reputation. If you know any patrons on the current world, random select one that will no longer work with you. If you have no patrons, shrug and move on. Now that's actually really bad because patrons are really good. You want to get patrons. People give you jobs. Character event, so your time spent exercising is never wasted. Gain 2 experience. Like I said, you might only get 4 for a game. So at gaining extra 2, bam, that's really good. But of course it can be a bit naff as well. So you get hurt while working on a ship. Spend 1 campaign turn in sick bay and the ship takes 1 whole point down. What did you do to it? Jesus. You know, so yeah, really cool stuff. More loot there, more loot weapons. So there's tables that lead to tables. And then there's a little bit of fluff at the end here. So this is the first sort of fluff part, telling you about Unity, which is the sort of overarching galactic spanning government. And so there's only, what, half dozen pages? Let's say 10 pages maybe. And a map of a place, just giving you an example, I think where they've set some of the art. And then these appendices are giving you a few different things, so how to play on a grid, a little bit about the new edition and previous editions, different types of job that you can take, harder jobs and stuff like that. Yes, I haven't really used any of these. So there's a few set missions if you wanted to do certain things, so you can do a heist and stuff like that, which is quite good. And so there's quite a bit there in the appendices. But like I say, I haven't really tried them. So yeah, environmental hazards, that's quite cool, I guess. All these things are just extra things to add in to give yourself more opportunities to do something different. Neutral characters you can have as well. They might even join you if you're really lucky. I haven't played any yet, but I'm looking to, because it'd be quite nice to have them wandering around and suddenly a gunfight happens next to them. And then just a little bit about how inspiration for Nordic Weasel to start this off. And that's it. And at the back there's a really handy sort of battle run through, campaign turn run through, and then the weapons that you will come across, because it's important to have that to hand, that one. And that's it. That is the book. So how many pages was that? It's about 180 pages. Yeah, really impressed with the quality. It's a great game. Had a lot of fun so far with 5 Parsecs from home. Like I say, £25 includes the PDF if you get it straight from Modiphius. If you want to get the PDF alone, I think it's £15, and you can get that from Wargames Vault as well as a direct download if you want to keep it in your library there. Really great game, and they've already got some expansions planned. And I think it's got a lot of legs in it, this. I know Nordic Weasel's also got a huge number of other games in different sorts of settings, so I expect that if this is successful, there may well be some other things from his back catalogue coming out as well. So great, thank you very much for watching this review. Please check out the other Weight of Fire videos, listen out for the Weight of Fire podcast, and check out the Weight of Fire Facebook page and the Weight of Fire Hobby Hangout Facebook page, where you can post up what you've been working on and all the cool stuff that you want to chat about gaming wise. So thanks very much everyone, take care and bye.